Hey fam, what's good? What's good? I hope that you're all well and keeping safe. I hope that you all had an amazing week. So you know what? To those wondering why am I so inconsistent to my actual YouTube, it's simply because I have this program running. If I can show you guys over here. So Magnus, basically, this is areas where I just call out areas which I have my eye out on. And then, daily breakdowns over here. This is something that I've just added additional. So this covers the system which we are using, basically, if there was a clear setup which opened over the course of the day, I will basically just make a breakdown upon that, right? And then we have our educational sessions over here, which we cover on Wednesdays, and Sundays we are having our weekly breakdowns as well. You know what, I'm just uploading this for the simple sake of load shedding as well, so whenever you have time to watch the content, it's here. You just come tap and you literally go watch it. As you guys can see, I've already made my actual weekly breakdown for the team. So you know what, yes, we are prep for this week, and yes, let's prep for this week together as well. Okay, so starting off from our monthly time frame over here on this beautiful peak called Nasdaq. So for those who has been following me since day one, like we called out sellers like crazy, right? And Diego is still bearish on this beautiful pair called Nasdaq. Okay, so basically, if we can look from price region all the way from 2019, right, we can basically see, can you see with this low over here and that low over there, we basically have a nice first touch, second touch. So I'm expecting some sort of an actual third touch for a potential continuation move back towards the upside, right? A long-term move back towards the upside. Can you guys see with this previous area of resistance over here now basically turned into support? Once price basically closed above this area, as you can see over there, we haven't came back for that retest just of yet. So you know what, I am expecting some sort of a retest back inside this area. um you know what, for a potential move back towards the upside. Ideally, it would basically be back inside this trend line for that move back towards the upside, right? So a safe haven would literally be this area of support over here. So clean. Let's look at what has been happening over the course of, this past months. Now, on Nasdaq, right? We are currently somewhat consolidating. We basically tapped into this previous area of support over here, and we had multiple rejections over here, right? Multiple rejections. We can also see that we are struggling to break above this region over here as well. So you know what, we can see that we are somewhat ranging over here, right? We are somewhat ranging over here. So this simply means that, you know what, I am still looking for overall downside momentum, because price tend to, if price is bearish in structure and you see some sort of a range, price tend to just continue inside that overall direction. Now keep in mind that this is the monthly time frame. We still do have 2 days and 6 hours for this candle to close, right? So this simply means that, you know what, if price will have a move back towards the upside, right, a nice bull momentum towards the upside, basically having closure above these actual highs, this is basically when we can see a potential further continuation move back towards the upside, right? But as long as Nasdaq is closing below these actual highs over there, you know what, we can see a potential dip back towards the downside. So let's scale down to the weekly time frame and see what is currently happening on the weekly time frame. Now on the weekly time frame, you know what, I do have a nice descending trend line drawn out from these actual areas over here, right? Let me draw out that beautiful descending trend line, just like that. Boom. So we can see we have a first touch over there, second touch, third touch. Once price basically broke above, we haven't came back for that retest. So me, Diego, I am looking for, you know what, some sort of initial move back towards the downside, at least back into the trend line for a potential continuation move up for an overall move back towards the downside. And that is literally it for my actual weekly time frame. So let's scale down to the daily time frame. Let's see what is currently happening on the daily time frame. So if I can remove all the noise and just zoom in price over here, so we can see that, you know what, on the daily time frame we did create this beautiful double top formation over here. Price literally had a shift to the upside, came back down, had another shift back up, and now we are currently shifting all the way back towards the downside. So the moment price basically closed below the neckline, over there, can you see break below? Well, a break below, price literally came back. Now for those who has been following me, right, you know that I don't consider one single candle as a proper retest. So for instance, with this move towards the upside, this bear candle over here, I don't consider that as being an actual retest, right? I don't look at this as being a proper correction, right? This bear candle over here, do I look at this bear candle as a proper correction? No, I'm not, right? So this whole move towards the upside, I do consider as an impulsive move back towards the upside, right? This move over here, which we had over here, this I would consider as a correction. And can you see, basically once we had this previous area of resistance, now basically serving as an area of support. Once price break above this bear candle through itself, you know what, inside this area and had a beautiful shift to the upside. But I'm not too concerned about that, right? This I don't consider as a proper correction. So me, Diego, I'm expecting price to basically have a further dip back towards the downside, back inside this region around about you know what, a safe haven would be 11,700. So a nice move back towards the downside. Can you guys see, once we basically had a break below this double top neckline, right, with this nice B candle over here, we had a correction. And then on Friday, right, Friday left us with this huge bear candle thrown towards the downside. This is a beautiful bearish engulfing candle. Can you see, this candle is literally engulfing that candle as well as this one. So this is a strong, well, a strong candle thrown towards the downside, basically telling us that, you know what, our sellers is stepping inside the market. So Diego, what are you expecting next? I'm expecting, you know what, a further continuation move back towards the downside, since we basically have this beautiful bearish engulfing candle over there, right? So if I can just remove this area and just box out this region over here, right, just box out this region over here. So can you see, with us basically having this beautiful low to a market, then creating a lower low to a market, then creating another lower low over there. So clearly we are bearish in structure on our actual daily time frame. Now, you know what, over the course of Monday, so Monday, I would like to see a nice actual rejection back towards the downside. But keep in mind, if price will close above this area on Monday, right, this is when I will find myself looking for, you know what, buying opportunities. But I do favor some selling opportunities back towards the downside. Now let's scale down to the 4-hourly time frame and see, hey, what is happening on our actual 4-hourly time frame. Okay, now on the 4-hourly time frame, let's look at structure. Let's try and identify structure at first. So structure, we can see that we basically had this beautiful low to a marker, then giving us a lower low over there, to a marker giving us another lower low over there, right? So we are bearish in structure on our actual 4-hourly time frame as well. So as long as my 4-hourly time frame is remaining bearish in structure, this will influence my daily time frame to also have an actual continuation move back towards the downside. Okay, so over here we now currently have a strong area of resistance, right? So I'm expecting some sort of an actual push to the upside, and then basically have a further continuation dip back towards the downside. You know what, the lows would basically be the areas which I will be targeting. So if we would have an actual closure below this actual low over here with the body, the next low would basically be my actual target. You know what, if we will have a closure below this low over there as well, keep in mind, not with the wicks, with the bodies. And then, you know what, the next area I would target would basically be you know what, this box over here, which I basically boxed out as our daily area of support. support. So that is literally my outlook on Nasdaq. I am still favoring some bearish momentum. Um, yeah, towards the downside. So I hope you guys had a clear understanding of what I basically just went through. You know what? If you found this educational whatsoever, you know what? Hit that like button, hit that sub button. I will highly appreciate that. So that's it from me, fam. It's me, your boy D. I'ma see you in the next one. Hama.